It's HBR, All Things Considered, and I'm Dave Lawrence. Over the last several years, comedian, actor, TV host Bill Maher has been our guest ahead of his Maui and Honolulu New Year's shows. He's on the line again. A big aloha and mahalo, Brother Bill. Good to have you back on. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. It's always great to be thinking about my annual trip to the islands.
Right, and this is what, 5, 6, how many years? 7? Unbelievable.
I know, time flies when Trump is president.
They used to say time flies when you're having fun. I realize time flies even when you're not having fun.
That's exactly.
So speaking of not having fun but doing good things, I was trying to see what you've been up to because you're such a busy boy, and I see that you are supporting something that I bet every single person listening is going to feel good about this one. Project Chimps, nonprofit in Georgia. What's it all about? Fill us in. Give them some visibility.
Well, it's a refuge. You know, I mean, a lot of chimps are struggling, as all animals are. I mean, we're killing everything. You know, this is one of the saddest parts of living in the 21st century. Is we are witness to this slow motion demise of the only place that can support our life. And you know, chimps are our cousins, and as we see with the way in the last few months, the way men have been behaving, or we're finding out how men have been behaving, they're not that different. You know, we also apparently throw our feces. But they deserve better, and I am a champion of all animals. I'm not that crazy about people, but I do love the critters, and I'll do anything for them.
That's funny you mentioned that. I mean, and a lot of people probably, that's something that we all have in common. That's kind of one of the cool things, I guess, just riffing on that you saw happen with Trump, because on a Thursday, he and his people announced that they're going to rescind a ban on allowing elephant trophies in from one country in Africa, one that's been run by a dictator for so long and is one of the most corrupt places there. And then within 24 hours, though, and obviously due to pressure by people within his own party and his friends, he totally turned things around because he realized that's something, I guess, like I was saying, we all share, because whether you're Republican or not, obviously the people that made him change his mind were not Democrats.
No. I guess somebody probably cued him into the fact that the very symbol of the Republican Party is an elephant.
Hello.
Which he probably responded by saying, nobody knew. Nobody knew. But, you know, you have to understand something like that. I don't think he really cares that much about whether animals live or die, and certainly not about elephants. What matters to him, as with everything, is undoing everything Obama has done. Most of what they do is just to say, ha, 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 this will make liberals mad. We don't care if it works, makes lives better, makes lives worse. It just makes liberals mad, and that's all they care about. And I know liberals have some good news lately, Alabama and Virginia, and it looks like the resistance is coming out to the polls. We got to keep that up for at least another year, until we start really voting in November of 2018. So I think I'm going to try to really light a fire under people on New Year's and New Year's Day, because it's like, this is the first day of the rest of our lives, people. This is the year we really got to do it.
There's some important issues that are on the line. And,
oh, my God.
I mean,
everything.
And I guess that's why I led with the animals, because with all of the other things that are going wrong, and as you put it, so many different things, it seems like every day there's a new controversy of something being undone or rescinded. That's why I guess I mentioned the critters, because it's almost like they get pushed to the back burner because of this other stuff. I mean, it's just like, and the rhinos, the elephants, what is happening to them? They don't get anyone to speak up unless it's somebody like you. So when you do something like that, when you use your Facebook, reaching out to all these people and basically providing a source of visibility for that nonprofit that they weren't going to get otherwise, that's a real community service.
It's very hard to keep up with all the disasters happening, as you say, simultaneously. So things that under any other normal administration, even one that you didn't agree with so much, would be front-page news, get swept under the rug. He's such an incorrigible, inveterate, habitual liar. You can't even keep up with all the lies every day. I mean, just the things he says at one of his rallies, my God, fact-checkers are carried out on stretchers.
Right.
Everything just gets lost, and you almost can't blame people for throwing their hands up and say, oh, you know, wake me when this nightmare is over. But the nightmare will not be over if you stay asleep. And I think people get that at this point. I mean, I have never seen not just liberals, just sane people. I mean, the best voices I hear on the airwaves against Trump are Republicans. I've never been anti-Republican. I don't agree with them on most things, but and I probably, like, when I look back in perspective, look at how George Bush was. I sure didn't like everything he did, but he looks like a saint compared to this maniac.
And to your point, it's not a liberal Democrat thing, really. Some of the strongest voices appear to be coming from his own party. It's like Jeff Flake, Bob Corker, John McCain. I mean, these are like the Bushes.
The real heroes for me on the right are the ones I see in the media. The Max Boots, the Steve Schmitz, the Nicole Wallaces, these people who are lifelong Republicans. They're usually veterans of the Bush administration, and they don't like what's happening to their party and their country, and they're willing to put country above party. That's the big fight that we've had in 2017 is who's going to stand up on the right and put country over party? Who's going to stand up and say, wait, we're losing the very thread back to what is reality, what is truth, because we have somebody who, if he doesn't like something, just calls it fake news. So there are good Republicans who are talking about that, and gosh, we need them.
It's kind of like a bad acid trip, huh? When you, I mean, on that note, a couple of the things that he's done, like, for example, the Jerusalem thing, where are you on that?
Well, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. I know he did it for the wrong reasons, and I know there probably is going to be repercussions for it, but Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. It has been since 1949, and I understand that the Palestinians have a legitimate gripe about the land, and that should be solved, but they have not been their own best friends in solving that. I'm not against Jerusalem being declared the capital of Israel. And look, I talked to the Prime Minister fairly recently. He wanted to convince me to come aboard on his position on the Iran deal, which I am not there yet, but I promised him I would look into it more deeply. My opinion so far has been that Obama made the best deal possible on that and put off Iran getting a nuclear weapon for at least 15 years. He has a different opinion. But he's derided a lot in this country as being too right-wing. I don't know. I don't live in Israel. I don't follow the politics that closely. What I do know is they are a country that is surrounded by hostile enemies. And if we were in that situation, I could only imagine what we would be doing. We act that way, and we're not surrounded by hostile enemies.
I know you're a powerful cat, but I just can't imagine. So Prime Minister Netanyahu just calls you? I mean, how does that work out? Do you know the cat?
I'm not a powerful cat, but I am somebody with a voice in the media, and one of the few voices that the Prime Minister knows speaks, I would say, truthfully about Israel. It's very popular in this country to really take a dump on Israel every time they respond to terrorism or do what they have to do to survive. And they're not perfect. No country is. But, I mean, there is no moral equivalency. They have nuclear weapons, and they don't use them on their enemies. If their enemies had nuclear weapons, they would use them on Israel in seconds.
I understand that. Was more mesmerized by the fact that I just can't imagine. So does he just call you out of the, or does it?
No,
his handlers do it, or
one of his aides reached out and said, the Prime Minister would like to basically lobby you to agree with him on what's going on with the Iran deal. And I guess they're aware that I haven't been on their page with that one. And so, I got to give him credit. This guy is working hard for what he believes is right. I mean, to be able to be calling an American comedian at 2 in the morning,
right?
Well, 2 in the morning my time, it was probably noon in Israel. He really, he's really caring about what he's doing.
It's funny, man. It almost makes me think of that ad from the election. You have the right person in office to take this call at 3 a.m., and there you are. They're calling comedians at 2 a.m.
Yeah, what's Trump doing at 3 a.m.? He's in a Twitter war with Demi Lovato, I mean, this guy, I worry he's even aware.
What a funny moment that would have been, huh? He's over on Twitter making little rants and raves, and you're on the phone with the Prime Minister of Israel. That's a weird moment. Huh? Only in America. Well, Bill, we're looking forward to the shows. I can't wait till you're here.
Yeah, we got some great surprises this year. I think it's going to be maybe our funnest show ever, and I'm really always so thankful that people come out and invite us. It's always a warm and friendly crowd, and I think it's a great way to either end the old year or kick off the new one.
Hey, are you a public radio supporter?
I'm a supporter. Yeah, I don't always listen, but I'm a supporter. But yeah, I'm not up at the times when some of the good shows are on because I get up so late. But public radio is very important, and that's another thing that Trump will wind up going after when he becomes aware of it.
You're an animal. I'm giving you a high five,
okay,
a hug. Appreciate it, my brother.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate the plug.
Take care.
All right.
Aloha.
Take care.